Welcome back to SportsLine. Jon Burton with you as we begin our second half hour. We're with you to the top of the hour. Waiting to hear from Titans beat reporter Jim Wyatt of the Tennessean. He should be joining us momentarily to give us a preview of training camp 2014 under new head coach Ken Whisenhunt. Meanwhile, again, your phone calls are always welcome, 737-7767. Again, I've got the Titans going 10-6. I want to know your predictions for the Titans this season. Am I wrong? Am I nuts? Let me know. Meantime, a guy that had double-digit sacks last year is looking to adjust to this new 3-4 defensive scheme. Defensive lineman Jurrell Casey caught up with him earlier today as he was doing his part delivering season tickets to fans. I know this is a great experience for the fans, getting the players to come out and hand them their season tickets. What's it like for the players?
It's great, to go out there and see the people that support you, to go out there and show your love, give back to them. Without them, our job wouldn't be possible. So, we go out there and we entertain on the field, so we got to go out there and entertain their presence. So, we're going to go out there and just have a good time with the fans and, have a great blast before the season get going.
It's important for you guys to reach out to the community, isn't it?
Yeah, it's real big, because like I said, they're the one that support us. Without them, we wouldn't have this gig. So, we go out there and just show, we greatly appreciate everything they do for us, and we're going to give back every chance we can give.
It's kind of calm before the storm, just a couple days away.
Yeah.
How ready are you?
I'm really prepared. Got to go out there, got to stay ready. So, I stay by the model, born ready, always been great. So, I got to go out there and prove it and show I'm out there prepared to go out there for a new season and a new team and go out there and do what we got to do.
Wiz kind of warned you guys when you left the last mini camp that it's going to be a tough camp. You ready for that?
Yeah, any day out there going to play ball is ball, man. I don't think it can really get that tough. You go out there and have a blast, something that we've been doing me personally, been doing since I was 7 years old. So, going to play football is something I love to go do. So, going out there on that field is nothing new.
Is it more mental this year just because you're learning a new defense and playing different positions?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the hardest part of the whole thing, is just staying focused when you're out there tired, learning the new plays and, being comfortable with all that. But playing the game, you can do that in your sleep. So,
thanks, Casey. All right, that's Jurrell Casey, Titans defensive tackle. Again, a great season last year, double-digit sacks. Be interesting to see how he adjusts to that new 3-4 hybrid scheme under new defensive coordinator Ray Horton. Well, we're still waiting to hear from Jim Wyatt, but you know what? We've got a very special guest in studio with us tonight, joining us here on SportsLine. It's my partner in crime, the best sportscaster in Nashville, Tennessee, my good buddy Steve Layman. Good evening, Steve.
You're always so kind to me, JB.
I say it all the time. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. However, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. You've been jet setting, you've been vacationing, you've been doing your thing.
Well, we better, because it's all going to end in about 30 hours or something like that. Football season is officially here, and I, for one, cannot wait.
Yeah, me either. I mean, that's the one thing about when you cover the NFL. You and I have covered the NFL and football, major college football, for a long time. The good thing is you get football back. The drawback, if you will, is that your summer comes to an end kind of early, doesn't it?
Yep, it does. It comes to the end at the end of July, but we're used to that, obviously. And I think it's just going to be really interesting to see this Titans team in training camp, don't you? Because there's obviously questions about Jake Locker. Mm-hmm. What kind of a quarterback will he be when they put the pads on? And they're not going to hit him, but when you get the live action around him in training camp on that foot that obviously ended his season last year, what will this offense look like under Ken Whisenhunt? Mm-hmm. What will the running game look like without Chris Johnson in the backfield for the first time in 6 years? And what is that defense, that 3-4 defense of Ray Horton? What is that going to look like with this Titans team? To me, those are all fascinating questions that you can't even really begin to start answering them or even hypothesize on what the answer is until we actually get to see it in a couple days.
You're right, but the thing about it for me is I think the Ken Whisenhunt factor is huge. And you get the feeling, since he's been here, he's not exactly here to make friends.
Nope.
He's here. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I like him, respect him. Like I said, I knew him from his days in Pittsburgh. But you can tell he's not really worried about making us happy. He's not really worried about anything else but winning. He's here to do a job. And I think for that reason, he's going to be able to close ranks. I think he's going to be able to rally this team around them and let them know, hey, it's us against the world. Nobody thinks we can do it. All the power rankings, 28, 29, 31, 32. I just have a feeling, and we've seen teams go, have quick turnarounds. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs 2 years ago, 2 wins.
Sure.
Last year, double-digit wins. Should have won that playoff game against the Indianapolis Colts. I just got a funny feeling. I like the Titans to go 10-6 this year. Am I nuts?
You may be. We'll wait to see on that. I think 10-6 may be a little optimistic, but here's the point that I think you're getting at is we have seen instances in the past where teams that have a few pieces get a new coach, and you change that style up a little bit, and all of a sudden that's the extra oomph or the jolt you need to get over the top. We certainly saw that last year in Kansas City. We've seen it before in places like Houston or at Indianapolis with Chuck Pagano and those guys there.
Right.
I think that's possible here. Because if Jake Locker plays like the healthy Jake Locker at the beginning of last year when he was 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, top 5 in the league on third downs, and this team was 3-1 and probably should have been 4-0 after the first month of the season,
Right.
all of a sudden you start talking about this team in a completely different light. And if they get the running back by committee production to be in the same neighborhood or maybe a touch better than what they were getting when it was mostly Chris Johnson the last couple of seasons to go along with that. I think we both agree they've got some serious weapons in the pass-catching game.
Right.
And then on defense, if this new defense can give them a little bit extra help in getting to the quarterback, because that's the real big question out there defensively, and it has been for a while. Who is that pass rusher? Who is the guy that offenses will have to game plan against and fear every time they step under center?
Right.
If they can figure out a way to put a little bit more pressure and speed up the clock for those quarterbacks, all of a sudden a team that maybe a lot of people around the league thinks, okay, they got average personnel, all of a sudden maybe those schemes make it above average personnel.
Right.
And that can take you from 8-8 to 10-6 and put you in the playoffs.
Guess we have on line 3. It's our buddy Jimmy Wyatt of the Tennessean. Hey, Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
You guys doing tonight?
We're doing
Jimmy.
great. Yeah, it's John and Steve here in studio. Always great to talk to you. We talked to you a little bit Sunday night on Sunday Sports Central, and we're just talking about Ken Wisenhunt and how the fact that, you know, he doesn't seem to be here to make friends. He's here to win. And I think that's a good thing. I think he's a guy that's going to be able to limit distractions for this football team and have them concentrate on one thing and one thing only, which is winning football games, which they have to start doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mike Munchak certainly was popular. I mean, he's a nice guy. Couldn't be any more hospitable, and I think everybody liked him. Everybody respected him. But you know, we didn't get it done on Sundays, and you know, and certainly you could have made a case that he deserved another chance to stick around. But I think since the move was made, you know, looking back at it myself, I think it was the right move because you know, with the way the schedule's set up, where they have a hard time getting to 2-2, to be honest with you, after that first 4 games. So if they're 1-3 with Mike Munchak, people are already calling for his head.
Right.
Where Ken Wisenhunt comes in here with a plan, you know, even if they get off to a rocky start, I think guys will settle down. I do feel like people are buying in to his system. You know, yeah, he's not here to make friends, and he's kind of a no-nonsense guy. I think he's going to be like that with us. I mean, I think we're going to have tighter restrictions as far as what we see in practice and what we're able to do, and that's going to be a lot tighter than it used to be. But he's not here to please the media. He's not here necessarily to please the fans, although he wants to certainly have a good relationship with them. And he's not here to make friends with his players. I mean, he's a hardline coach, and I think you're going to see him turning up a couple of notches here when they take the field on Saturday.
And this is for both you guys, I identified 3 key players the other night on Sunday Sports Central that I think are essential to the Titans having a good season. I went Delaney Walker on offense, I went Zach Brown on defense, and I went Dexter McCluster on special teams. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a good threesome. I mean, I would say Kenner Wright, but to be honest with you, Kenner Wright is a given in my book, and I'm going to go a different direction and go with guys that maybe are a little bit unproven who have to make that leap for them to be really good. And I think, you know, I'll start with Locker. I mean, Locker's got to be healthy. He's got to be successful. If the start quarterback goes down early like last year, the season's going to go off the rails again because, you know, they don't have any experience at the backup position. So Locker's my number 1. My number 2 is Justin Hunter because I did mention that I think Wright's a given. I think Lake Washington's a given. I think some other playmakers on this team, you know, should be good. Well, Justin Hunter, I mean, that's kind of up to him. So he's my number 2. I think the third guy for me, if I had to name one, obviously they need some help at rushing the passer.
Right.
But I'm going to go with whoever ends up being the other cornerback, whether it's Bleedy Ray Wilson or Cody Sensabaugh, because that guy's going to be on the spot, and if he's not good, they're going to come after him. I expect him to be better than people think, because I don't think either one of those guys is a slouch. So the second cornerback will be my number 3, whoever ends up winning that battle in camp.
Jim, I think my biggest question going into the camp is, where does the pass rush from this team come from? They've talked about the committee approach the last couple of years, and frankly, it just hasn't worked out. So now you go to this 3-4 hybrid system. Does Derek Morgan moving to the outside linebacker position, do you think he can be that guy? Can Cameron Wimbley get a new life in this system and finally be that guy? Sean Phillips, the free agent pickup, can he be that guy? They have a few pieces there, but do you see one of those guys emerging as sort of that feared pass rusher that they have not had in recent years?
Yeah, that is a big question. I mean, I do think they're going to get some help from guys like Jarrell Casey, because I think with going to the 3-4, there's going to be so much attention paid to those outside linebackers. I think a guy like Casey, who had a heck of a year last year, is still going to be effective, coming from a different position on the field. So I think he's key. But if I had to name one of those other guys, I think Wimbley ought to be a lot better just because he's come from the 3-4. He's had some success there before. I like Derek Morgan because I think he's an effort guy. He works hard. He plays hard. He kind of does all the dirty work. But he's a guy that's always been close and just has been so close on sacks. He's one of those guys I've got a big question mark going into camp, because he's going to get the effort out of him, and he's got the skill set. But he never played in an outside linebacker, in a 3-4 defense. So it's going to be an adjustment. He's not going to be able to snap his finger and go. I mean, we haven't seen him with pads on, and it's going to be different for him from a technique standpoint, from a balance standpoint, just from a mentality standpoint. So a lot of question marks here, and I can't say, hey, this guy's going to do it, because a lot of them I just don't know, because we haven't seen him in those spots.
Yeah. Jimmy, Taylor Lewan, as of now, as far as we know, still unsigned. Wonder if you have any news on that, number one. And number two, I know the other night you mentioned that you feel like Bishop Sankey is the one rookie that could really make an immediate impact this year with the Titans.
Yeah, and I still believe that. And I think part of it's because he's going to have to, and they're going to force feed him the ball, because McCluster wasn't brought here to be the workhorse. And I'm, after a pretty underwhelming, I don't want to say pretty underwhelming, after an underwhelming year last year, and then being hurt all offseason, you wonder about Sean Green. So, Bishop Sankey is a guy they're going to lean on to get a bunch of carries. He's going to catch some passes. I think when the season ends, he's going to be the leading rusher, and I think he's going to be a really good player for him. As far as Taylor Lewan, it's still unsettled. He's the only draft pick, only first-round pick without a contract right now, and I think it'll get done. I mean, will it get done, in time for him to hit the field on Saturday? I mean, it should. I mean, 31 other teams have figured out a way.
Yeah, what are they waiting for, right? I mean, everybody else is...
All the money is pretty much guaranteed. Yeah. But I think the only holdup is maybe a little debate on when some of the money is distributed, how early in the contract he gets it, and I think that's all they're up for. To be honest with you, they know how much he's going to make, they know how many years it's going to be. It's something where they don't have a deal, here at what time is it, 8:44, at 8:46, they might say, hey, let's just agree to this, and it can get done quickly. They're not far apart, but I think you got two sides, maybe dug in a little bit, being a little bit, playing a little poker here, and eventually it'll get done. But they were late getting, and it takes two sides. I say they were late. Chance Warmack was late reporting. Kendall Wright was late reporting. So this would be 3 years in a row if they don't get Lewan under contract by Saturday.
I was going to say, Jim, under the new collective bargaining agreement, it's supposed to be easy to get these first-round deals done, and now this could potentially be a third straight year where the first-round pick isn't done. What are they doing over there?
Yeah, and it's always, a lot of it, what has happened in the past is, let's say last year when you're doing Chance Warmack, I think the number 10 pick from the previous year had some stipulations, that contract that Chance Warmack wanted. And the same thing maybe with Kendall Wright the year before. And I think they do so much, agents do so much try to drive, get a bargain or try to get something unique in their deal. And I think the Titans sometimes a little bit reluctant to or worried about doing a bad deal. So I think it's one of those deals where they still don't have to have anything done till Friday, and so I think they're just it's a little bit of a waiting game, but shouldn't take long. And even if he misses a practice or two, I think that'll be the most that he'll miss.
Jimmy, always great having you on. Thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you at camp.
Okay, sounds good. You guys have a good night.
See you, Jim.
All right. We got to take a break. You want to stick around for another
yeah.
segment?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more Titans?
I got to be here all night, so I'm staying with you.
Why not? We got Steve Layman in the house. Your phone calls. We're talking Titans. We're back after this.